Hey, this is EdTalenti, and today we're going to review the AKAI MPK Mini Mark II. The AKAI MPK Mini Mark II is not a new product, but it is one that I've been using every single day for more than a year now. It's a very simple yet feature-packed device that is capable of a lot more than you'd expect from something in this price range. And that's exactly where I want to start from: the price. At the moment of this review, this little guy is like $99 or 99 euros for us Europeans, and you can find it for that price on any store from Amazon to eBay to anything else. If you go and search for it though, you can find it used for probably like $40, which is a really good deal and a really good price for a product like this. Yes, I know this is made of plastic and it might feel cheap, but it really isn't. In fact, it feels really sturdy. Starting from the structure itself, which is really good quality hard plastic, moving on to the pads, which are backlit with these nice red LEDs. The keys are mini keys, but they work really well and have decent enough velocity control. Also, the knobs are sturdy and smooth, and the buttons are really well laid out. The only thing that I'm not in love with is this little joystick, which is not really precise as a mod wheel, and it's even less precise as a pitch bend. Although, you could map it as an X and Y multi-directional controller for FX or for anything else you want, and you can actually achieve some pretty interesting results like that. As far as connections go, all you have is the main USB connection to plug it into your computer and an input for your sustain pedal. Now let's quickly go over the buttons, the controls, and the knobs that you get with the AKAI MPK Mini Mark II. Let's start with the keys. As I was saying, we have 2 octaves. They are mini keys, but they're very quiet, because this is a portable system. It's really good in case you're on an airplane or even in a library or whatever. You're not gonna bother anybody by playing the keys. They feel pretty good, they're pretty sturdy. It's a keyboard, it works. Let's move to the second most important thing, which is the pads. You have 8 pads, they work really well. They have this nice red light behind them that really works with the rest of the keyboard, and it's just really pleasing. I've had many devices with pads on them, and these are some of the best ones. They're typical AKAI pads. Really great work on those. Let's move on to the knobs now. You have 8 knobs, fully assignable. You can assign them to any parameter you want on your DAW. They're really smooth and they're really soft. They're nice and buttery, very sturdy, and they also don't stick out a lot, which is something that I really like, because you're gonna throw this thing in a backpack, or you're gonna throw it anywhere in a luggage. It doesn't matter. These are not gonna break. These are not gonna stick out and just like snap or anything. These are not going anywhere. Which is really nice. Now let's move on to my least favorite part, like I was saying earlier, which is this guy, which is, it's not my favorite thing, but it's not bad. It's definitely usable. And then we have the rest of the controls, which are all these buttons. Let's quickly run through them and see what they do. So you have your typical octave up and octave down right here. You can go up, I think, 3 or 4 octaves and down. Then you have this full level one, which is an on and off switch button, which works on the pads and on the pads only, so it doesn't affect your keys. But on the pads, basically when you have this on, whenever you press a pad, you're gonna trigger it at maximum velocity. So you lose the velocity control, you only have full velocity. Then you have this note repeat button, which is really great for percussions like hi-hats, for example. Like if I have my hi-hat here, right? And if I play it holding this down, could be really useful for a lot of different applications. So it's nice to have this button right here, very useful. Then you have something that I wasn't expecting to have in a product of this price range, which is an arpeggiator. It's got a tap tempo function, which is not super precise because you don't have, you can't set a number, but you can turn it on and off by doing this. You can tap your tempo, line it up with your DAW or whatever song you're doing, and then you just lay down the chord and it triggers arpeggio. Now you do have a bunch of controls that act on the arpeggiator. I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but these little writings all over here. So you have quarter note triplet, eighth note triplet, 16 note, and so on and so forth. You have up, down, random, etc. Different arpeggiators like to set how many octaves you can do, and you have the amount of swing that you want to do. So you can actually tweak this quite a bit and get some pretty good patterns going straight from this little keyboard. On this side, you have these 3 buttons that are all for the pads. As I said before, you have 8 pads and you have 2 banks of them. So you actually have 16 possible sounds at once. Or not at once, but you can switch back and forth. So you have this first bank and then it turns green and you're on your second bank. Now, when you have the pads just like these, they trigger MIDI notes, right? If you put CC, they're gonna start triggering CC parameters inside your DAW. And if you go on program change, they're gonna trigger program change parameters. For example, I use this a lot with my strings. I set it up so that I have inside contact, I have the first pad that's legato strings, the second one that's staccato, and then I have spiccato, and then I have different octave controls and stuff. So when I'm playing my part, I can easily switch between the different articulations of the sound, and it's a really fast way to do that. The last button you have is Program Select. Now, this button is really important because you can do a lot with this keyboard as it is, but there is a software, which is a free downloadable software, that is called the MPK Mini Mark II editor. It's for PC and Mac, and you can download it on the AKAI website. It's completely free, and once you have it, what that allows you to do is first of all set different parameters and different ranges for the velocities of the keys and the pads, and different things for the knobs, and you can basically customize this thing pretty in depth. But this Program Select thing, it allows you to create presets, so you can have, you know, different layouts for your keyboard, and when you change them, it changes the entire layout of the keyboard. Like, for example, the pads become different notes and trigger different things. So you can really build it and really customize it for yourself. For example, I tend to just use the first two, and I have the first one that's set up for drums so that the notes that are on these pads line up with my drum rack. And I have the second one, which I use more with like contact instruments and stuff, where I have all my articulations and everything already set up. So you can really, really customize this thing and do a lot with it. In conclusion, this is definitely a very solid product. It has a large number of features packed in a very portable and sturdy controller at one of the lowest prices in the market. The only things that aren't great, like the joystick, they're not bad, they're just not great, but they're still pretty good and definitely very usable. I highly recommend this product if you haven't checked it out yet, both as a product for someone that's just starting out, and also for professionals who just really want to improve their on-the-road setup. This is it for today, guys. This is my very first review, and I hope it came out okay. I never reviewed a product before, but I decided to do it with the products that I use in my everyday life, because I think, you know, ultimately it's not so much about the new and cool products, but it's about the ones that we're comfortable with, and hopefully share some valuable information for some of you out there who are looking into this product, or they're just looking for something to buy. If you like this, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It really means a lot. Also, don't forget to check out the rest of my videos. I put out a video every week, and I've been doing it for about 2.5 months now, and I'm having a lot of fun. So if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more. Also follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. It's always at EdTalenti, or for Facebook, it's facebook.com/EdTalenti. I hope you guys had a good time. I'll see you next week. And as always, stay positive, and positive things will happen.